Happy birthday to Plex. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to sing like a birthday song, even though I do kind of want to. It would just be horrible. But Plex, 10 years old. It's kind of cool. What's up YouTube, Jason here with Byte My Bits, and in today's video, let's cover a few things about some Plex news and some Plex stuff, and let's just Plex it up a little bit, shall we? So Plex is turning 10 years old in December of 2019. It's coming up, and they're even giving stuff away to celebrate their whole, 10-year birthday thing. They're still 11 years away from giving away beer because they can't legally buy it yet, but still, it's cool. 10 years, they've been here a while, so let's talk a little bit about Plex. If you guys want to have a chance to win some of the Plex stuff, I will link in the description down below. You probably already know it's been going on for a few days already, but it's this whole Plex for Life campaign that they got going. They're giving a story about how they came to be and kind of the timeline, between when they started and where they are now. It's actually kind of an interesting read if you're super into Plex like I am, so I definitely recommend following the links in the description down below. It will allow you to read through that history and also enter in to win some pretty cool prizes that they are doing every single day, and it's super easy to enter in as well. So follow the links down below and possibly you can win some free stuff. Happy birthday to Plex. And this whole 10 years of Plex thing actually sparked a conversation on Discord about user IDs and, pretty much who's the most OG Plex user out there. And obviously there's going to be some engineers who, have very, very low numbers because, well, they're kind of the founding fathers. But I was kind of curious on what my number was because I know I showed up a little late to the game. And now I kind of want to ask the question to my audience, what club are you a member of? And what I mean by club is I don't want your actual user ID number because that could possibly maybe lead to your user ID, and I'm not really asking for you to give out your information like that. But if you are curious on what club you are, for example, I am in 1.4 million club. It's kind of a high number, and I kind of wish I would have jumped on the Plex train a little earlier. A guy on my Discord, Liquid Syphilis, is actually in the 200K club. So there's kind of a big difference. His is like mid 2012 is when he joined. Mine's kind of like later in 2013. So obviously you can tell there's a big difference in just a matter of a year to year and a half in user base. I mean, they went from 200,000 to where I was, which is 1.4 million. Knowing your own user ID will do absolutely nothing for you except maybe just scratch a little curiosity itch that you have. Also, you can kind of flex a little bit in the comments down below. There's probably a better way to do this, but the way that I found to find my user ID was to basically go to the payment screen where it shows all your Plex Pass payments, whether you have a Plex Pass or not. If you go to the payment screen in Chrome, if you right click on that page and click on View Source, and then just do a search for user ID. No spaces, just user ID, and it should pop up and show you what your user ID is and the source of that website. There may be a better way out there, but this is just, somebody asked me this question and I went on, a mission to find out how to find my ID, and then I verified with others that it was, recreatable, so here we are. I look forward to reading the comments down below and seeing what kind of OG numbers we have for Plex. I think this is kind of interesting. You know what? I kind of wonder what Keith's number is. He's the CEO of Plex, are you number 1? Number 2, I am fairly convinced that the number 1 account is actually a super admin account that has access to everybody's Plex server and no one knows when it's actually using their server because it has super privileges, and I'm totally making all of that up. It's just a joke. Anyways, post your abbreviated number in the comments down below. Let's move on to something that I wanted to talk about for a while, and that is Plex and its whole studio contract negotiations things that it has going on. Now, I've actually touched base on this where, Plex is in negotiations and they've signed on with Warner Brothers. They're probably, talking to other studios as well, and they want to pull more content into Plex that users don't necessarily have to own, and they can just watch stuff that's ad supported. So if they want to watch commercials, they can just stream it through Plex. And that allows, probably Plex to make a little bit of money on the back end. That allows the studios to make a little bit of money, by leasing it out to Plex. And the users themselves have the additional benefit of having a bigger library, or at least access to a bigger library, which is all cool and everything. But I've read some comments on videos and I've seen some stuff on Twitter where people are just kind of like, what if this whole thing with studios is going to bring on a new era of censorship type of deal? The most prominent comment that I saw was, what happens if Plex signs on with a studio and then all of a sudden the studio says, okay, well, we'll continue this relationship, but now you have to block all of our content on the rest of your platform. We don't want our movies on anybody's server. And I kind of found that comment interesting because to me, I have two scales, right? On one end, it's you know what? Technically, that could be possible. That could be a thing. But on the other end, I'm sitting there thinking, you know, the Plex, they've been around for so long, they know their user base, they have a very passionate user base. And Plex knows that doing any kind of move like that would be like throwing a grenade on the ground and just jumping on it. So while I do see the potential of a dystopian future that technically could happen if a studio put enough pressure on Plex, I just don't see it happening at all. I mean, the way I look at it is that Plex is built on, you know, managing and customizing your own experience with your own media. Their passionate user base is full of people like me that are just super into this whole Plex idea and having your own servers and running your own stuff. And it's a very passionate thing for everyone. So if Plex just came out of nowhere and said, no, you cannot have any movies or TV shows from this particular studio, I would be the first person to jump ship. And the reason why I say it like that is because I am a total Plex fanboy. I've been a fanboy for a long time, so much so that Plex even decided to sponsor my channel every single month. And even with my history and the channel sponsorship and everything that goes on YouTube and everything that I've done, I would still be the first person to say, no, that is a terrible thing. I can't believe you did that, and then look for an alternative. So if I'm in that mentality that where I would be more than willing to jump ship, you know, at the first sign of something like that going down, I mean, I feel like most of the Plex user base would be in the same mindset. And I kind of feel that Plex would know this and they would recognize this, which kind of brings me back to my first point, is I just don't see this as a possibility ever happening with Plex. Now, the whole Warner Brothers ad-supported movie streaming thing, I haven't seen that launched yet. I mean, it's just something that they're, you know, in the process of working it out. But I, for one, am actually kind of excited to see how this comes out. I mean, if you're going through your Plex library and you don't have anything to watch, but all of a sudden you have a full studio's, you know, arsenal full of movies to watch, but you just have to watch some, you know, commercials or ads to do it, then I mean, that's your choice. You want to watch those ads? Fine, you get to watch the movie as a reward. So, you know, that's just more options and you're not forced to use it, but it's just more stuff that you can watch and you don't have to pay anything more in order to access it. Which kind of leads into my next topic here, which is Tidal. Now, Tidal is kind of a relatively new streaming service for music. Plex, as you know, worked out an agreement to have Tidal on their front screen. You can buy Tidal subscriptions with Plex. You even get like a free trial period. There's a bunch of different options there. I've talked about Tidal before. I have not talked about Tidal again because for the most part, my initial experience with the Tidal and the interface that you get within Plex is still kind of limited. Like, they haven't really changed it too much. And any devs out there watching this, like, log into your Tidal account and look at all the ways you can discover and add music and browse, you know, new artists and stuff like that, and then log into your Plex account and then go to the Tidal screen and just compare the differences there. Really, the best way to use Tidal on Plex is to go to Tidal first, build and discover and everything, and then you can carry it over to Plex, and then you can use Tidal through Plex. And that's kind of been my day one impression. I feel like maybe it's getting a little bit better for artist discovery, but the interface is just so much more robust on the Tidal website than it is on the Plex website. I don't know if that's a licensing limitation, like Tidal wants to, you know, maintain that kind of interface or interaction and keep it on their website only and only allow a limited amount of stuff pulled over from their website into Plex. I don't really know the back end on that, but something I did like the idea of with the whole Tidal thing is that they actually have music videos, and you can go to Tidal and you can build like a music video playlist, and then you can load that up with Plex, which I think is kind of an interesting idea because let's say if you want to, you know, host a party at your house, you can pull up Plex on your TV, show a playlist of music videos through Plex, and then you could put that through, I don't know, your home entertainment system and just kind of blare it throughout the house. But the biggest update to this whole Tidal Plex relationship is actually fairly recent, and that is a new thing called Tunefind. Tunefind allows you to find and browse music associated with movies. I'm talking soundtracks. If you go in and click on a movie, you can see the soundtrack and the music used in that movie, and you can play it directly through Tidal. Now, to see this, you need at least server version 1.18.2, and you will have to actually launch your Plex.tv app from the Plex website versus going directly to your server. Also supported as iOS, Apple TV, and Android mobile. But I think this whole Tunefind thing is actually a pretty cool integration. It allows you to, you know, find music used in movies, music you know, maybe really enjoyed listening to during the movie and you don't know what it is, don't know who the artist is, don't know what song it is, etc. So to give you an example of this, I'll go into Back to the Future on my own server. As you can see down here, it actually gives me a list of songs used in Back to the Future that I can play directly from this screen. I get the name of the song and the artist, and I can see all of this from the same screen, which is pretty cool. Now, full disclosure here, I do have a Plex Pass and a Tidal account, so I'm able to make all this work. I don't know if you actually need a Plex Pass to use the Tidal integration, but I would assume you still need a Tidal account in order to listen to this music. But I still think this is a pretty cool integration, bringing the whole Tidal music thing into kind of a more useful environment with Plex, rather than just an add-on. Say, oh, also I want to listen to music, let's click on Tidal and try to switch everything over. Instead, they're actually using the Tidal as a tool to help people discover music that they might have enjoyed while watching a movie. Well, guys, that's all I really have to talk about today. So again, look up your user ID and tell me what club you're in. Are you in the 200K club? Are you lower? I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. Make sure to follow the Plex for Life giveaway. This is going on until December 1st. I know it's a little late for this video, but hey, you still have at least 5 or 6 days. So follow the links in the description down below and enter daily to win whatever potential prizes they are going to be given away. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, post those in the comments as well. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and have yourself a good day.